Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the final installment in our No Buff Rift Clear series. Now, we could technically continue this if we were to continue into higher difficulty rifts, but if I'm being candid, this series hasn't gotten the views that I want it to, and I'd like to be able to alter it out with something that has the potential to perform and allow the channel to grow a little bit more. So, am I sad that this is coming to an end? Yes, but it's kind of a necessity, and so I'm willing to look past that. But today, we will be looking at the level 38 Boss Wave Rift, where we need to defeat Klaw and two bosses. Specifically, the two bosses that show up after Klaw are Kingpin and Doctor Strange in that order. Now, the reason that this particular rift is important is it allows you to unlock Magneto and use him as a playable character. So this is one that you particularly would want to focus on if you want to be able to have and enjoy that character. So what are some strategies that you should go about here? Well, a lot of it revolves around survivability. So if you're outside of a challenge type setting that I have placed myself in, you're going to have a lot of benefit from health recovery, either off of attacking into staggered opponents, from extreme attacks that you're able to engage, other items that you can put into the skill tree or the alliance enhancements. There's just a lot of things that you can do to ensure that you're going to be okay and you're not going to end up with a teammate incapacitation, as that is one of the requirements for getting the 3-star clears. You can't have a single member of your team go down over the course of the entire fight. So yeah, the higher up you have your team in its levels, the easier time you're going to have with completing this rift. And I actually had to run this a couple of times to make sure that I was able to get it and finish it completely. The other thing you have to keep in mind is we have a 5-minute time limit. You need to clear out the rift in 5 minutes or less in order to get that 2nd star. But that's not nearly as difficult as getting through with all of your team members intact. Now, there's one particular move that you'll need to watch out for in each individual boss's kit that's really going to ruin your day and potentially cost you a team member if you get caught on the wrong end of it. With Klaw, he has a lot of those sonic waves that he'll send out, but he has a couple that he'll charge up and then blast out directly in front of him. And those are the ones that you want to watch out for because they deal a larger amount of damage and they can ricochet off of things if he's too close to a wall, a pillar, or a border. So that's something that you have to keep in mind when facing off against him. For Kingpin, it's actually the cane topper shot that he uses where he'll send out a spread of different projectiles from his cane. And it's not overly annoying on its own, but if you are caught point blank and all of those projectiles hit you, he can absolutely melt through your health. And that's never something that you want to have to deal with if you can avoid it. And for Doctor Strange, it seems asinine, but it's the Flames of the Faltine that he uses just because it hits multiple times in succession and you don't really get a good chance to roll away from it. So that's an attack that you've really got to watch out for him, as again it can cause you to melt right through your health. Now, I highly recommend using your abilities on their own initially, especially if you haven't leveled up your abilities like I haven't for the sake of this challenge. Because if you use the abilities on their own as opposed to in their synergy format, they tend to use less energy points, and that means that you can get off a couple more attacks in order to burn down the stagger gauges of these mini-boss characters, and then you can use synergy attacks that hit a little bit harder once their stagger bar has been depleted in order to force them into a full stun animation and thus get more damage in on your opponents. Especially because a lot of them will retaliate pretty vigorously, especially when you're in close quarters with them, and that can be problematic, especially if you're looking to build back up your energy points in order to use more of your ability and synergy attacks, which are really handy to have if you're able to use them. So those are the biggest things that I would watch out for, and then I would personally recommend holding on to your extreme attack until the very end when you are able to stagger out Doctor Strange, and once you have him staggered, you can detonate your extreme attacks to get the full stun, and possibly just wipe him out like I was able to do while attempting to clear out this run. And those are the biggest suggestions that I have for succeeding on the Boss Wave Defeat Klaw and 2 other bosses Rift in order to unlock Magneto and claim the full rewards for it. But that's really everything that I wanted to talk about, and yeah, that's all that this series is going to amount to, because there are other things that I would like to start showcasing on the channel. So if you're excited to see that, make sure that you subscribe, as it falls into the parameters of the daily variety content that I'm trying to keep up on. And if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like, as that lets me know that you did enjoy this series while it lasted. Thanks so much for your time, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day.